Welcome to Video Ghoulash. My name is Kelley. The end of summer. Horror list. End of summer horror list. Yeah, end of summer horror list. Let's talk about it. So why an end of summer horror list? Because maybe you're like me and you like to be firmly planted in the present moment. I don't hate summer, it's not my favorite season. Long gone are the days that I loved summer. I love summer when I live on the coast and I can surf and do all that kind of stuff, but it's not me right now. So I'm just done with it. I grew up in Texas as well, where you have two seasons, hot and hotter. I don't like the heat. I don't like the heat unless I can do activities outside that cool me off and I can enjoy it. So why am I celebrating summer? Because like you, there are memories attached to summer, things I still love about it at times. And fall is coming. I love transitional periods. They're odd. They close the door on one season while opening the door to the next season. And this one in particular is my favorite transitional period because I'm closing the door on a season that is just hot. And it's kind of my least favorite into my absolute favorite season, autumn. So no matter what your favorite season is, even summer, here's an end of summer horror list that will give you one last blast of hot weather fun while kicking you right into autumn. Now, not every movie on this list takes place literally during that transitional period, but I promise you they bring you that vibe and they make you want to close the door on summer and move on into the next thing. It's going to bring you the right vibes for this end of the hot season into the cooler harvest months. I'm going to kick off with one of my favorites, Let's Scare Jessica to Death from 1971. This is directed by John D. Hancock, also written by John D. Hancock, Lee Kalchheim, Sheridan Le Fanu. A recently institutionalized woman has bizarre experiences after moving into a supposedly haunted country farmhouse and fears that she may be losing her sanity once again. If you're unfamiliar with Let's Scare Jessica to Death, go out, find it, watch it. This is a great film. I don't care what your favorite genre is, even if you're somebody who's not really into horror films, Let's Scare Jessica to Death is an awesome film, period. It deals with mental health and mental health disorder, while also kind of broaching some small town scariness, creepiness, possible supernatural stuff going on. You've got a legend about a girl in the lake as well. You got a haunted house vibe. You also have kind of a vampiric vibe, which is cool. It's character driven. So I guess for some people it's maybe considered a slow burn. I think it's pretty uncomfortable throughout. I think the horror is there throughout. This movie looks beautiful. It's directed incredibly well. Really great performances by the actors. Zora Lampert as Jessica, your lead, is incredible here. Absolutely incredible performance. Marie Claire Costello, she plays the character Emily. She turns in a really cool performance as well. But as far as Let's Scare Jessica to Death and why it's an end of summer horror movie, this thing is entrenched in the late summer, early fall vibes. The lake plays a big role. They take a ferry over. The leaves are just sort of barely turning in a lot of scenes. And it opens with a shot of like mist roiling over a lake, which is a transitional period type of thing as the water is cooling down from the summer. So the mist rolling over the water, the foggy morning environments in here too. There are some shots with foggy mornings. This is indicative of seasons changing, of the transition period from summer to fall, which also tonally supports a deeper thematic. It almost feels like an Indian summer, with autumn struggling to take its grip. Let's Scare Jessica to Death. It's a high recommend. For me, a perfect end of summer horror movie, and probably something I'm going to deep dive in the future.
Dreams or nightmares, madness or sanity. I don't know which is which.
Let's Scare Jessica to Death.
Next up is Night Swim from 2024. It is directed by Bryce McGuire. It is written by Bryce McGuire and Rod Blackhurst. This movie's about a Major League Baseball player who's forced into early retirement because he's got a degenerative disease. He's trying to rehab, he's trying to heal from it, but he moves with his family to a new home. That home has a pool, and that pool has a history. So this flick kicks off in the summer of 1992. Fast forwards to another summer. It's rife with summer vibes, peak summer vibes. It brings all that pool party to the table and all of that awesomeness in baseball as well, which is such a summer thing. And I've also just got to say, I don't understand the low ratings for this movie. Don't pay any attention to that. This movie is like an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode souped up on steroids, like a Goosebumps book with a major mean streak to it. And just like Are You Afraid of the Dark and Goosebumps, it's hella fun. It's not meant to be some serious elevated horror flick. Sit down, enjoy it. The plot's actually really cool. It has this stuff about underground aquifer that feeds the pool, and it kind of almost feels like environmental horror or folk horror at times. Yeah, check that out. And it's led by Wyatt Russell. So just because it's meant to be a good, fun time doesn't mean it's not really well acted. It's well directed. The characters are awesome. But Wyatt's your lead. Wyatt Russell's incessantly watchable, just like his dad. He's inherited that gene, but he's his own actor too. So I love watching his work, even though he beat me out for a part once upon a time. I figure that just makes me in good company, right? But I digress. Night Swim is worth your time. Go discover it. Check out all of the summer vibes as this movie moves along through the summer. Things get darker, they get colder, and by the end of it, summer's over. It's the perfect end of summer horror movie. The Funhouse from 1981, directed by the incomparable Tobe Hooper, written by Lawrence J. Block. Many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with The Funhouse. If you're not, holy crap, go watch The Funhouse. This is the perfect time to watch The Funhouse.
Who is mad enough to enter that world of darkness?
Something is alive in the funhouse. Something not alive like its father. Something better dead. Something that has the form of a human, but not the face.
This better be good.
It's gonna be great.
This movie kicks off with an homage to Halloween. The way Halloween kicks off is the way Funhouse kicks off, but a little different. So you're dropped right into that autumn feeling. But then as the movie goes on, you got a group of kids going to a carnival, and they decide they're going to spend the night in the Funhouse. So carnival season is summer, late summer, early fall. You've got Iowa here. It's the Midwest. The leaves haven't started changing yet at all. It's nice and green out. So you've got that late summer vibe. The characters are starting to wear jackets and whatnot at night. So you've got that seasonal feel where those hot days, that lingering heat through the day begins to get cooled off at night. This is the perfect transitional summer to autumn. So there's no need for me to go over the plot or how great it looks. Great, by the way, on 4K. It looks absolutely incredible. It's one of the best looking 4Ks I've seen. So definitely this is worth the upgrade. But it's incredibly shot, and no surprise, Tobe Hooper. It's well acted. I love how this movie has all of those Halloween vibes, that Halloween influence, but it's got the universal horror Frankenstein vibes and homage sort of influence to it as well, but all wrapped up in carnival season and a cool story of its own. And I've always enjoyed this one because it's more atmospheric. It plays with your nerves before it starts messing with you in other ways. But yeah, The Funhouse from 1981. Perfect end of summer horror movie. Let's talk about Eden Lake from 2008. It's directed by James Watkins. Stars Kelly Riley as Jenny, Michael Fassbender as Steve. Obviously, Michael Fassbender, you'll recognize. Kelly Riley, some of y'all might recognize from Yellowstone. So a couple of fantastic actors. This movie is intense. It's about a couple that are trying to have kind of one last fling of the summer and get away. And that getaway is totally shattered by a group of teens that begin to terrorize them. I don't want to say too much. This is a movie I feel like that a lot of people still haven't seen. It's on Amazon right now, on Amazon Prime if you have that. But it feels very end of summer because it does feel like last fling of summer. And it's got a cooler color palette. So they're out by a lake. You've got all kind of like the summer vibes of the lake and a beach by the lake. Laying out, you've got, bathing suits, diving in the water, having all the good type of fun like that. But it's a cooler color palette. The UK forests where they shot in this give you kind of a cooler, colder feel, at least to me. But I think that's also achieved by the color palette that the director uses. But at any rate, it does feel very end of summer. Now, I can't say this is like my favorite movie on the list. It's worth watching. It's a good film. If it happened in the US, it'd be a really short movie. Thank you, Second Amendment. And I've heard some socio-political discussions around Eden Lake that says it's painting rural folks or poor folks in a bad light, or that you're stupid if you're poor. I didn't get any of that from it. I mean, honestly, I think that's just a bunch of drivel and a bunch of talk. This movie is about violence begetting violence. It's about shitty parents having shitty kids. And that tolerance and coexistence with people who don't want to exist with you isn't really a feasible thing. Good men and women will always have to resort to violence to defend themselves directly from violence and defend the good people around them. That's more of what I get from Eden Lake. It's a ruthlessly mean little flick. It's worth your time and worth a watch for sure, even if just for the cast. Definitely belongs on the end of summer horrors list. Feels very end of summer. And definitely when it's over, you're done with summer. Another movie that makes you feel completely finished with the summer is Nature's Grave, also known as The Long Weekend from 2008. This is a remake of Long Weekend from 1978. It's directed by Jamie Blanks. It's written by Everett De La Roche. It's about a couple in a troubled marriage that decides to take one last fling for the summer, one last vacation, and give one last shot at maybe connecting again. Stars Jim Caviezel as Peter and Claudia Carvan as Carla, and they bring the dog along too. This movie is about this couple not only just taking a vacation to sort of reconnect, and I think they were supposed to meet friends there who don't show up because I think they're pretty much lost. They end up being very intrusive into nature, going somewhere and being very disrespectful of the environment there, which is supposed to play in thematically with how they also treat each other. This movie feels very oppressive, hot, sweaty. You've got insects, you've got snakes, the wildlife, the trees, the humidity of the sun-drenched months. It feels very oppressive. And as the movie goes along and things continue to break down, and things continue to happen. I don't want to say too much because, again, I think this is a movie that a lot of people haven't seen, the original or the remake. I recommend the original probably over the remake, even though I haven't seen it. But the remake's not bad. It is on Amazon if you want to check it out under Nature's Grave. Jim Caviezel's awesome. Claudia Carvan is awesome. Great performances. Still a very cool movie with a cool thematic element that also leads into sort of an eco-horror kind of a plot. The Long Weekend will make you absolutely sick of the summer and ready to get the hell out of that season. So it's perfect for an end of summer horror list. Next up, Summer Camp Nightmare from 1986. This is written and directed by Burt L. Dragon. Stars Chuck Connors as Mr. Warren. Chuck Connors is actually in 2 movies on this list. Spoiler alert. But I've been banging the bell on this movie for a long time. It's criminally stuck on DVD. It's a really cool flick. It's based on a book called The Butterfly Revolution. The plot's about campers that have an uprising and take over a camp against a sort of a strict camp director. And so they revolt and they take over the camp, and it goes from there. I've been cussing about this movie not being on high def for like ever. And I guess I'm still cussing about it today. In a nutshell, you've got sort of Lord of the Flies and Heart of Darkness and maybe like a little Animal Farm in there, just wrapped up in a summer camp experience. It takes you through this from a childhood coming of age sort of a thing too. You've got a character named Donald Poultry, played by Adam Carl. And you got that, but then you've also got this awesome performance by Charlie Stratton as Franklin Riley. And you get the teens. Tom Fridley's in here. Y'all recognize him from Friday the 13th, Part 6. This is a really, really well acted, really cool movie. It's not a slasher movie. It looks like it should be, but it's not. But I think this is a poignant movie, especially for today. This is like about idealism and the dangers of ignorance and violent overthrow and suppression and oppression of people and silencing of people, which is some bullshit that we're experiencing today. We're experiencing violence against people who just want to speak and debate. And we're witnessing people screaming fascism and Nazism and stuff while they themselves embody those actions. And so this movie is actually pretty relevant to what's going on today. It's a shame that it's not out. It's very effective at these summer burnout scenes, though. You have this idyllic kind of start of the movie and summer and a summer camp experience. And as it degenerates and gets worse and worse from there as far as the plot and the characters and the things that they go through, the heat, the oppressiveness of it, the summer, by the end of it, you're done. You're done with summer camp and you're done with summer. Summer Camp Nightmare is the perfect thing to close the door on summer. It's got to be on the end of summer horrors list.
She just wants a double dose. Beep, 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 beep bologna. Beep, 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 beep bologna. Beep, 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 beep bologna.
You boys should be ashamed of yourselves, acting like that in front of young children.
Stoked to talk about Night Tide from 1961. This movie is written and directed by Curtis Harrington, stars Dennis Hopper as Johnny Drake, Linda Lawson as Mora. Those are your two main characters. You've got Gavin Weir as Captain Samuel Murdoch, plays an important character. I love movies of this era. This is about a young sailor that sees this girl. He's drawn to this girl. She's mysterious, and he learns that she's a mermaid in the carnival. But something's off. A lot of her past lovers are dead. Maybe all of her past lovers are dead. And maybe she's a siren and kills people on the full moon. Maybe. Maybe not. I love the whodunit aspect of it. I love this movie, the vibe of it. You've got, it's full of summer fun, like peak summer. You've got the boardwalk, summer attractions, the carnival, summer love, the beach. It's a really cool story. And the perfect movie to watch to get that last blast of fun while bringing you to a place where you're just kind of ready to move on from summer. This moves through the season, I think. It's got a mystery element that keeps you engaged, definitely engaged throughout. And that the performances are great. Dennis Hopper definitely carries this movie. I love Linda Lawson in this, though. She's really good. Such a neat flick. Largely, the performances, I think, carry the movie. But the story is really cool, and all the secondary characters are great as well. I really like the end of the film. The conclusion, yeah, it's cool. I'm not going to give anything away, though. Other than to say there's a sense of bittersweet that you're left with. Very palpable, very realistic feel as far as like kind of the emotional makeup of how living feels, how dichotomous life can be. But Night Tide is awesome, and it's the perfect end of summer movie as it takes you through the summer, and by the end of it, it's the end of summer, so perfect. Night Tide 1961, go check it out. I'm going to keep it on the boardwalk with Dark Ride from 2006. We've got director Craig Singer and writer Robert Dean Klein. Craig Singer also has a writing credit on this too. One of the 8 films to die for. Dark Ride. Maybe my favorite, at least of the ones that I've seen. I've seen a lot of them, but I don't think I've seen all of them. I watch this movie every year. I dig this movie a lot. I dig the vibes of this movie. It kicks off at the end of summer. It kicks off on a mostly abandoned boardwalk. If you've ever worked in any kind of attraction industry or like at a resort like I worked at, that your lifeblood is spring and summer, you get the vibes. That end of summer, sort of abandoned, liminal, there's hardly anyone there. You've got a few people here and there, and you're working out that last tail end of the summer. As the summer months are coming to an end, they're trying to hold on, and autumn is just going to beat them down. There's no hope for it. It's kind of a liminal feel, the transition feel. And that is how this movie kicks off, with these 2 girls, these 2 twins, one kind of good, one kind of evil, getting on this dark ride at the end of summer, maybe the very last day that you could get on this dark ride. And terrible things ensue. Fast forward to spring break. You got a group of kids going on spring break, and they end up going to the dark ride to go hang out in it. But that end of summer feel, even though this is technically spring break, that end of summer feel permeates the whole thing, resonates through the whole thing. I feel like this is the whole time I get that vibe, that end of summer horror vibe. Plus you're in a dark ride, the carnival, and the carnival shutting down, which again, carnival season is summer, leading into fall. A lot of them close at the end of summer though. Dark Ride is a lot of fun. It's got a pretty cool cast. It's not gonna like change your life or anything, but it's a hell of a lot of fun. I'm gonna point out Andrea Bogart. I don't know if it's Andrea. I don't know how you say her name. Sorry if you're watching this and I'm butchering it, but she plays this like weirdo hippie chick, hitchhiker named Jen. And she just chews up like every friggin' scene she's in. But there's this particular monologue she has in the van when they pick her up that's like legendary, man. What a cool piece of acting. I love that scene so much. But anyway, Dark Ride, I'm putting it on my end of summer list. It's my list. Make your own. But I promise you'll watch this, and with that kickoff and that permeation of end of summer, liminal, dark space, transitional space, that it just permeates this movie, man. And I'm telling you, this has to be on this list. Dark Ride from 2006. Next up is Tourist Trap from 1979. This movie is directed by David Schmoller, written by David Schmoller and J. Larry Carroll. This is the other movie with Chuck Connors in it. Chuck Connors plays Mr. Slauson.
We are going to have a party. How do I look, huh? How do I look?
Tanya Roberts is in here. You'll recognize her. I'm always kind of still surprised at how many people haven't seen Tourist Trap. It's truly disturbing. I think this movie's horrific. It's got this mix of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre ambiance, slasher vibes, really off-putting supernatural twist to it, combined with like mannequins. You're off the beaten path. It's rural, like far off the beaten path. And it's got this aura, this like get me the hell out of here aura at the end of summer. Chuck Connors as Mr. Slauson is legendary and Tourist Trap. I mean it. This is one of those movies that I think should be rated as high as like Texas Chainsaw or any of the other ones like that. It's a classic. This thing's an absolute monster of a horror movie. You get all of that feel of like a late summer road trip, and being very far off the beaten path, deciding to take your own route. The movie basically centers around these kids that decide to take an alternate route. There are a lot of tourist traps in the country. This is like a true story in this too, as new highways are being built and things like that. Some of these towns that thrived off of the tourism died. And there are these places off the beaten path that used to be the path. And those places are dead or near dying. And that's the setting for Tourist Trap. Late summer, you got diving into a pond, and you've got, the whole summer road trip vibe. And it brings you right to that end of tourist season. That thrill of summer is gone. It's long festered away. Now you're left with nothing but the heavy summer heat. And that hangs heavy, that haunts you, that haunts this forgotten place. Very liminal feeling movie as well. Like I said, very disturbing. Tourist Trap, perfect end of summer horror movie.
See my friend?
One of the best movies on this list, just technically from any standpoint as well. High recommend, Tourist Trap, 1979. Last up on the end of summer horrors list is Husk from 2011. Husk was directed and written by Brett Simmons. This is about a group of friends that get stranded on a road trip through the Midwest. They're having a last blast of summer. They're talking about epic lake jumps and just enjoying this final bit of the summer season. And they have a terrible accident.
How did this happen?
And they get stuck, and they're near this desolate farm, and they're surrounded by cornfields. And it goes from there. Clearly, from just the cover, it's a Killer Scarecrow movie, so get ready for that. But it's a little bit more than that. The plot is pretty cool about this. As a matter of fact, I'll say that even though this movie is not perfect by any standards, it suffers from, like, why the hell would they do that? I don't think they'd do that kind of character actions and stuff like that. It's got a cool plot. It's really well shot. It's well directed. The performances, the actors are all great. When I noticed the character of Brian was being played by this dude, Wes, I think Chatham is how you say his last name, Georgia boy. What's up, Wes? He was in The Expanse. And if you haven't seen The Expanse, that's an awesome show. But I saw him, I was like, okay, well, I know, like, acting-wise, I'm probably at least set for this character. But the whole cast really brought something to the table. As I said, though, this movie has all of the end of summer vibes that you could ever want. It kicks off on a last summer road trip. They're cruising through the Midwest. If you look at the corn, if you live in the Midwest and you know what I'm talking about or grew up around this, you can look at the corn and the height of the corn and the color of the corn. You tell what time of year it is. And also how damn hot it is at this time of year. If I'm a betting man, that is early September. You've got tall green corn stalks. The humidity, it's so oppressive, man. The heat and humidity at that time of year is brutal. Absolutely brutal. But that's the beginning of the movie, man. And they're talking about lake jumps and they're driving through that environment. And then as things progress in the movie and night falls and things cool off, you start to get into that same kind of feeling of the cool nights of September, the way that autumn is beginning to take hold. And then you're talking about cornfields, you're talking about scarecrows. I mean, if that's not getting you ready for fall, I don't know what is. Husk is the perfect movie to end the summer with and get stoked for the autumn season. Husk 2011, definitely end of summer horror. Appreciate y'all chilling with me today. End of summer horrors list. I want to know if any of these movies do the same thing for me that they do for you, give you that end of summer feeling. I mean, some of them are literal, sure, but others are conceptual. What movies are conceptual to you that give you that late summer, end of summer, last blast vibe, transitioning you into fall? I mean, I could have put Texas Chainsaw on here. I could have put The Wicker Man on here. I felt those were kind of obvious. But they'll do the same thing if you weren't thinking of it. It's kind of a weird list to put together. So I'm curious because it's partially conceptual and partially literal. Summer of '84 could have gone on this list. That's another one that takes you through a whole summer. So let me know. I hope you guys liked it. And subscribe. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you. A lot of spooky season content is headed your way. Enjoy your end of summer and early fall. Later, skater.